And a very early good morning to your good selves. Well, some people could accuse me of doing all the cheery videos and not. But bear with me. Now, those of you who have been awake for years and years and years were horrified. Now, I remember seeing this way back, and it could have been possibly as far back as 2000. It was a little advert done by IBM that did the rounds by many who were awake at the time, who were horrified of what they were seeing, as regards the RFID chip. They knew it was coming. They tried to wake so many people up to it. Everybody was talking about conspiracy theory and whatever else. As you can see before you, this uploads from 2006, and I would argue, just to repeat, that the advert was at least 5-year-old then. Now, I've got the sound off, and bear with me. Now, what you see is a guy who obviously looks quite shifty, okay? As at least on the surface, he looks like he's stealing, doesn't he? As he puts various goods in his pocket. And there's obviously music that goes with it, and you see the closed circuit TV cameras, all the rest of it, and at some point, he gets stopped by the security guard and says, "Hey, sir, you forgot your receipt." And this was one way of indoctrinating the public to the future. The RFID chip under the skin. The mark of the beast, whatever you want to call it. Okay? Because it is definitely embedded in the occult, quite literally. And many people didn't take it on board, even back then, when many of us were trying to warn others about this and the real consequences as regards, never mind the fact of actually having this embedded in your skin, but the loss of jobs in so many different sectors. And of course, even to this day, most people truly do not understand just how much directly all of this will affect us in so many ways. Okay? But we've got the millennials who were brought up with being scanned at school for their school meals, when most of the parents didn't blink an eye, didn't care, didn't want to know. So you now have a generation who take all this kind of thing for granted, never understanding where this all goes at all. Now, a friend of mine, Facebook friend Dan, yet again, he's the man, and he links on my Facebook page this, which is about Amazon. My apologies, actually. The original one he linked me was Walmart. Now, Walmart is going after Amazon with the store of the future. No cashiers, no registers. Now, remember, this was done, I would argue, as far back as 2000. It could have even been done before then. Okay? Now, when I read the article about Walmart, it talks, in fact, if you go to their own site, Scan and Go, and basically using one of their apps on your smartphone, you scan every item. No need for cashiers, checkouts, all the rest of it, and it just gets charged to your account. Okay? So I really don't even actually need to read the story. I'll leave the link to it underneath the vid. But what I was horrified was Amazon's version of this, which is even worse. Okay? I'll leave the link to that. But Amazon, it goes that extra mile. Now, I'll try to turn the audio off for this. You just scan your phone with their app, right? You don't even have to scan anything with this one. Using facial recognition technology and all the rest of it, you just walk in and walk out, and they charge you. Just put it in. As soon as you've gone up and touched and lifted that item, it scans you. It knows who you are. and you just walk out. And if you decide that you don't want that item and you put it back, they've scanned you, videoed you in real time, putting the item back. Absolutely horrendous. And yet, remember, we have, say, look, I don't want that item. Goes back to zero. You have a generation, though, because so many parents did not question what the hell was going on in their schools, where all these millennials were being finger scanned and biometrics and all the rest of it. Don't blink at this. And they have been programmed to think that this is all the greatest thing since sliced bread. Now, if you think the unemployment rate is bad just now in many Western countries, wait till that truly kicks in. And while others out there say, hey, look, Scott, why fight it? It's not affecting me. It's not affecting my job or my business. I would just like to point out to you how many people are currently employed in the service industries who may be wanting to buy your goods, but in the very near future won't be able to buy your goods. This does directly affect all of us, without a shadow of a doubt. And not least, you notice I'm not even going into the very real privacy issues, which, let's face it, by and large the millennials don't blink. They've been groomed and indoctrinated to believe that there is no such thing as privacy at all. And many adults, unfortunately, through the indoctrination of media, movies, subliminals, all the rest of it, pretty much don't blink either. Until, of course, they'll lose their job. And there'll be some who are still out there who will watch this vid and say, look, it's for the best. Goods will be cheaper. Don't kid yourself. This all ties in with the carbon, this, that, the next thing. If you're lucky, prices will stay the same. If you're lucky. I would argue they'll still go up with these various carbon credits and costs associated with this illusion called global warming and climate change. Excuse me. It is utterly frightening watching this in real time. And the apathy of the masses is biblical. You see? Did you see what it was saying there? Computer vision, deep learning, sensor fusion, all great buzzwords. Just walk out, technology. Think about your Western nation, whatever one it is that you live in. Think about, next time you go into the supermarket, just for argument's sake, if you do in the next few days, look around you and make an effort to see how many people you can see currently being employed in whatever supermarket that is. Then take away 90% of them, barring maybe one or two security guards and maybe a couple of shelf stackers. And even then, with the way automation's coming on, they'll go as well. And then talk to me about just how many jobs you think will go. And if you think, well, no, this will benefit vast amounts of independents. I don't know about that. Well, what else I'm seeing as regards to cashless society and the focus on it and the absolute focus on the promotion of these things and more. Not good, boys and girls. Not good. Not good at all. And if anybody thinks that they're all going to have this windswept and interesting life and that this is all for convenience, think again. And it could all be turned around, because what you know what it takes? It takes people putting down their supposedly smartphones to fight against this, to not engage with this. Just think about how many people are paying for these things, these supposedly smartphones, that are profiling the user in a level never thought of in history. And as I said, let me repeat, you can turn it around. When people just say, do you know what? I'm not shopping there. And if people start voting with their feet, truly, and it's the only way that's going to affect them is in the pocket. The bottom line. Because I am sick to death of hearing people saying, why fight it? You just can't do anything about it. These people are a damn disgrace. Are an absolute disgrace. People forget the power they have. I hate to use the word, but collectively. By just not engaging. By making real choices. By going to markets and whatever else. And taking a hell of a lot more interest in the world around them. It's amazing. Just off the cuff, and I've definitely said this in other vids, switching the TV off. For me, 17 years and counting. Not one regret. There's many times people say to me, have you seen such and such movie? I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know who they're talking about actors-wise unless I've seen it through the paper somewhere. I could not care less. They are absolutely all distractions to keep people from sucking their thumbs in a dark room somewhere. The future that's coming about is not pretty. At all. And it does not have to be this way. Doesn't have to be this way. Anyway, as always, I look forward to your views. As I said, I will put a few links up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And I always appreciate thumbs up on vids and shares. And I'll speak to you soon.